Really? Is that all you've got? Wait, so you'll see in the middle of the room there, we say good evening to all the beautiful people of the Kingdom of Bahrain. Bahrain Sports TV is live. That means you are live to the nation. And what you need to understand is that right here, right now, tonight, you can choose what kind of race you want to have. You can choose to have a great day. You can choose that maybe the water will cool down a little bit and it might be wetsuit legal. You can choose that the forecasted Shamal winds will wait until Saturday. You can choose that it'll be cool on the run. Now, how you do that, it's called the power of collective energy. Here we are, more than 1,400 athletes from 84 countries, and we have the power in our hands, the power of collective energy. And what we do is we send that energy into the universe, and we do that by unleashing our war cry. We do that by raising our voices and clapping our hands and putting good energy into the universe. So here we go. Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the IRONMAN 70.3 Middle East Championship, Bahrain. A little bit louder, come on. A wonderful good evening. Thank you very much for being here. It's going to be a phenomenal race weekend. We've already had our professional pro conference, our press conference. We had the pro briefing already. This evening, we've got some entertainment for you, and then we're going to be taking you into your race briefing. After the on-stage festivities, we'll then be opening up the buffet. A huge thank you to the team at the Intercontinental Hotel, Bahrain's oldest hotel, but with the best food ever. Your dinner tonight is guaranteed to make you 5 minutes faster on the swim. If you have seconds, you'll be 1 hour faster on the bike. And if you finish all your dessert, it's a PB on the half marathon. Thank you to the team at the Intercontinental for an amazing dinner that is coming up this evening shortly. But first, before we do that, give them a huge thank you, a shukran to the Intercontinental. However, we need one more round of applause. The hardest part of any race is getting here. It's getting to the start line. Give yourselves a big round of applause. Well done. You are going to be tackling a brilliant swim, bike, and run on Friday. Anybody here doing their first Ironman 70.3? Gosh, quite a lot of you. You've chosen one of the fastest 70.3s in the world. What I want to do before we get going is we're going to show you now the highlights of last year, just to give you a taste of what you can look forward to on Friday. Check out the big screen.
This is my first time, first experience, and Bahrain is a very good location for this.
And I'm so happy that we're back. I love racing in my country. It's an amazing race, amazing venue, and there is a lot of people, a lot of fast people.
I guess the first goal is just to finish, get across the line safely.
I don't know what this year is going to bring, so I hope I'll do the best that I can, maybe win. I'm looking forward to racing in this heat.
A fabulous Friday morning with the Kingdom of Bahrain for the 7th edition of IRONMAN 70.3 Middle East Championship.
in Dubai with a 3:26. And he's stepping onto the magic carpet to become Ironman 70.3 Middle East champion, Martin van Riel. Pat Matthews, Bahrain victorious, our Ironman 70.3 Middle East champion.
Well, how about that? Some of you saw yourselves in that video, and if you're looking good on Friday, there's a very good chance you will see yourself in the highlights video that we will play at your awards on Friday evening. There's a big team that have worked incredibly hard for the last year to put this event together. And here are some words of welcome from the Managing Director of the Ironman Middle East here in Bahrain, Ahmed Al-Hajj.
On behalf of His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, welcome to the 8th edition IRONMAN 70.3 Middle East Championship Bahrain. Good luck.
There we go. Ahmed and the team, as well as a lot of our representatives from the Ironman Europe team, are here to ensure that you have a fantastic day of swim, bike, and run on Friday. So a lot of you are here because you want to test yourselves, but there are a lot of you that are also here because you want to race an Ironman 70.3 World Championship. This is a championship event, and we have 75 slots for the Ironman 70.3 World Championship happening on the beautiful Costa del Sol in Spain in November next year. A wonderful course in the incredible town of Marbella. I'm sure you've heard of Puerto Banús and those beautiful white pristine beaches. The warm waters of the Mediterranean Sea, well, they beckon you. On Friday evening, after the award ceremony, those slots will be handed out. But check out the big screen. This is a little taste of what you can look forward to if you qualify. Beautiful Andalusia and the Costa del Sol, the Ironman 70.3 World Championship Marbella beckons you. Friday night we'll hand out those slots. So in Ironman, we like to say that anything is possible. And every single one of you have a story. You've all got your why. Every single one of you has got that little flame that burns inside you, that gets you out of bed on those dark mornings, gets you back out there training in the afternoons, on the weekends, to do whatever it takes to make sure that you swim, bike, run, and come down the magic carpet of our finish line. And one of those stories is an incredible gentleman who I've had the pleasure of meeting many, many times at many races around the world. Often our, I wouldn't say oldest, often our most experienced athlete. I haven't seen him for a while. It's so good to see him again. Fouad Saliba, if you can please come on stage. We'd love to have a few words with you. Fouad Saliba, ladies and gentlemen, he's raced all our races here in the Middle East. He's raced all around the world. Myrna is there as well. Lovely to see you again. It's been always a pleasure. One of the things about Ironman, you know, in Hawaiian we talk about ohana. We talk about family. And it feels a little bit like a family reunion. We haven't seen each other for a while. I know that life is full of challenges, but you don't let your challenges hold you back.
Yeah, this is my comeback after 2 accidents this year. The first one, as you know, in Kona, where I managed to do 162 kilometers on the bike, but after that I was totally blind. Even the big sign I could not see on the road. So that's how, unfortunately, ended like that.
So you have these challenges, they hold you back, and you know, some people, they just go sit on the couch and they watch Netflix, not you.
What happened after Kona, I was searching for a race. I found one in Greece. After 3 weeks, I said I did all this training, I should do that. And I did it. I qualified for New Zealand World Championship, which is, thank you, which is taking place 24th of December. But you know, when you go for World Championship, you have to really work hard, and I cannot push myself because after that, I had an accident in Lahti, 27th of August, where a few bikers hit me and kept going. I found myself in the ambulance. My advice to all athletes, please, please, if you, accident could happen, but if you do have an accident with some biker or runner, please try to help, stop, and do something. This is the ethic of sports.
Exactly right. That is what good sportsmanship is about. Now, Fuad, I know we like to say that you are very, very experienced. How many decades have you been on this planet?
I started this business of, how many? How old? I will be 79 in February.
Only 79 years old. And that's what's amazing about this sport, because if this was football, you know, you'd be back in front of the TV, you wouldn't be kicking the ball around. But here you are, swimming, biking, and running, and you've got your athlete wristband on, you're going to do it again.
Yeah. Yes. You know, you have the mind which keeps you going. You know, after this Lahti accident, as I told you, I found myself in the ambulance, and then I looked. The doctor smiles. He said, "Good now. You recognize you were completely unconscious. We pick you up from the floor, full of blood. I had 4 broken ribs, my lung puncture, my shoulder, and then they took me to intensive care. I have to stay 3 weeks before they allow me to travel back to Bahrain."
And now you traveled back and you didn't give up triathlon. You are still trying.
Yes, I came here, I did some physio, but in June 2000,
Not another accident.
after the accident, we did MRI, X-ray again, and they found supraspinatus were teared and infraspinatus 2 completely teared. So I have to have a surgery, which is arthroscopy 6-7 place, which was performed by a good doctor, Elias Mastaragas. He's a Greek. He did excellent job. After that,
Anybody here from Greece?
then I spent another 3 months on physio. And then now I felt good. I said I will try the T100 in Dubai because I was visiting my daughter. I did T100. I was okay, not as I wished to, but I managed to do it. I was happy. Then when we came 2 days back here, I said I will try to do Bahrain as well.
79 years young. Nothing holds him back. Please give this legend, Fuad Saliba, a huge round of applause. Come on. All right, beautiful people, all of you have got stories, and that's the story of Fouad Saliba. He is an incredible man. Lovely to have Myrna here with us as well. Lots of inspirational stories will be celebrated on Friday. Make sure that you get our TV cameras catching you whilst you're out there, and also make sure that you use your story to inspire others. We've had words from Ahmed Al-Hajj, our managing director. We've heard from Fouad, but also an event of this magnitude would not be possible without all our amazing partners and sponsors. On the big screen now, you'll see our incredible partners and sponsors. They're the ones who make it possible for you to be here to swim, bike, and run. Without them, we can't be here in Bahrain. We can't enjoy this venue. We can't enjoy the swim, the roads to the Bahrain International Circuit and back. And they are the people who make anything possible. Our incredible sponsors all on the screen. A big round of applause for all our partners and sponsors who make this possible. Come on, you can make it louder than that. Bahrain Sports TV is filming you. Come on 3, 1, 2, 3. And I know what will get a big round of applause. So we've got the Ironman Middle East team, we've got the Ironman European team here, we've got Gordon Graham, DJ Danley, myself from South Africa here. We've got athletes from 84 nations here, more than 1,400 of you. But without this next group of people, it would not be possible to host this race either. Our amazing volunteers who, free of charge, work all week and all weekend for you. For the volunteers, please, a huge round of applause to say thank you. So, we are moments away from opening up the buffet, but we talk about the fact that we have the power of being together, the power of unity, the power of 84 nations coming together to swim, bike, and run. Here you are challenging yourselves. Some of you, for many, many times you've done this. Some of you for your very first time. Some of you just want to finish. Some of you want to qualify for the Ironman 70.3 World Championship. All I know is that it will be an incredible day of swim, bike, and run on Friday. After the dinner, we will be taking you into your race briefing. We'll also be talking about the schedule of events, because tomorrow we've got the very cute part of the weekend, which is the Iron Kids. Our expo and everything will be open again tomorrow. And then on Friday, everything starts 5 a.m. nice and early with the transition zone opening. This is the 8th edition of our Ironman 70.3 here in the Middle East, our Ironman 70.3 Middle East Championship here in Bahrain. We came for the very first time with the M.Dot brand on Bahraini soil in 2016. It's very quickly become probably the fastest Ironman 70.3 in the world, and it attracts the best athletes on the planet. The likes of Jan Frodeno, Daniela Rief, Christian Blumenfeld, Gustav Iden, Kat Matthews, just to name a few of some of the superstars. Last year, Martin Van Riel and Kat Matthews took the honors. This year, Georgia Taylor Brown will be doing her first ever Ironman 70.3. We have a stacked and packed list of professional athletes who will be lining up with you. The incredible thing about Ironman racing is the professional amateur nature of the race, where you are racing the exact same course as our professionals. And the medal that Georgia Taylor Brown or Vincent Louis will be getting on Friday is the exact same medal that you get. So, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful people, I know that what we want to do is we want to celebrate our nations. I'm just standing by for the green light from backstage that we are good to go. What we're going to do is we have a slideshow of country flags. The country flags are in alphabetical order. Now, when you see your flag on screen, we want to hear you proudly celebrate your nation. So are you ready? Here we come. In alphabetical order, here are our nations. I've been told that, so in radio, we have a thing called padding. When you hear the radio DJ talk complete nonsense for a couple of minutes, it's because we are filling time whilst I wait for my producer, Gordon Graham, to tell me that the video is ready. There was a small technical glitch. The videographer saw how good the chicken biryani was, and he was busy dishing up dinner for himself right now. But he's rushing back to the console, and we are moments away from pushing play on Celebrating the Nations. And the thing I want you to remember about Celebrating the Nations, think about this world that we are living in. Think about the fact that politicians and social media try to divide us. But here we are, athletes from 84 countries, not divided, but united. One big family. And in reality, if more of us did this, this world would be a much better place. That is the power of sports. And Nelson Mandela, the late great statesman of South Africa, he was the one who said that the world's most powerful peace movement is sport. Sport unifies like nothing other. And as a South African, and we have a lot of South Africans here, I never felt more proud of my nation than in 1995 when the Springboks became the Rugby World Cup champions for the very first time. It was the first time I felt proud to be a South African. That's the power of sport. All right, beautiful people, I've been told that we know you are hungry. So what we'd like to do, the amazing team from the Intercontinental, can you please open the buffet? And ladies and gentlemen, dinner is served. We've got everything fixed and we are now ready to celebrate every single one of the 84 countries that are part of this edition that started back in 2015 here in Bahrain. This is our 8th edition. When you see your country flag, I want to hear you. I've got a feeling India will be quite loud. I think the Philippines will be very loud. Maybe our friends from Spain or Germany, maybe the South Africans will be loud. But watch the big screen in alphabetical order. Here come your flags, and I want to hear your cheers.
Algeria, Andorra, Argentina, Armenia, Australia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Belgium, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Brazil, Canada, China, Colombia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Ecuador, Egypt, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Grenada, Honduras, Hong Kong, Hungary, Indonesia, Iraq, Ireland, Israel, Isle of Man, Italy, Japan, Jordan, Kazakhstan, Kenya, Kuwait, Kyrgyzstan, Latvia, Lebanon, Libya, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malawi, Malaysia, Mexico, Micronesia, Moldova, Morocco, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Oman, Pakistan, Palestine, Peru, Philippines, Poland, Portugal, Qatar, Romania, Serbia, Singapore, Slovakia, Slovenia, South Africa, Spain, Sudan, Sweden, Switzerland, Syria, Tunisia, Turkey, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, United States of America, Uzbekistan, Venezuela, Virgin Islands, Yemen.
So some of you are thinking, hold on, aren't there some flags missing? I know that the Philippines were very happy to see their flag. Denmark, thank you to the team from Ironman Denmark. I didn't hear the athletes, I only heard the Ironman team. But here are the top 5 biggest countries. In 5th position, here we go, this is the 5th biggest country, Saudi Arabia. Come on, I can't hear you, Saudi Arabia. Hold on, that went a bit quickly. India was the next one. Where's the flag of India? Well, then it's the United Kingdom, but they were 2nd biggest, so it's not in order. There's India. So many Indian athletes racing here. Next flag, Russia. Udachi to the team from Russia. And then it is Bahrain, the biggest country. 84 countries, we're all together. One big Ironman family, one big Ohana. We are moments away from the race briefing. I'm going to put the big schedule of the weekend on screen right now. This is what's coming up this weekend. So, tomorrow is very important because tomorrow we've got Iron Kids. Our registration is open yet again. And tomorrow is when you're going to bring your bikes and your transition bags. On Friday, well, Friday's the day when you put on your Lycra and you go out there and enjoy a beautiful swim, bike, and run. So now, beautiful people, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you into your race briefing. If we can get the race briefing slides on the big screen. Remember, as registered athletes, it is your responsibility to have downloaded the athlete guide. It is your responsibility to know the course and to know the rules. This race briefing is to ensure that there's a level playing field for all our athletes and that you all have an equal opportunity to get to the finish line. At the end of the race briefing, if you have any questions, our race director and Ironman team will be here at the stage to take your questions. Next slide. So, like I mentioned, please ensure that you read the athlete guide. That handsome man, that is Abbas. He's our race director. Shukran, Abbas, for everything that you and the team do. Our announcing team, well, it's myself and Gordon Graham and DJ Danley. We're going to make sure that we have a party on Friday. The next slide. Just a little bit of the race venue. So you are now in our welcome and awards tent. Just behind us, we have the registration and the expo. Across the road is the finish line and the VIP. And just beyond that is your transition zone. Your bike park runs the length of the VIP and the finish line. And your swim start area is at the bottom side of the transition zone over there. We'll move to our next slide. So, cut-off times. These are really, really important. We have cut-off times because this is a challenge. We have cut-off times so that we can reopen the roads for all the citizens of Bahrain. You have 1 hour and 10 minutes to complete your swim. You have 5 hours and 30 minutes to swim and transition. So be advised, your transitions are part of your cutoff times. And you have 8 hours and 30 minutes to swim, bike, and finish the run, including both transitions. We do have an intermediate cutoff time. This is time of day. You need to have exited the Bahrain International Circuit at 62 kilometers by 11 a.m. on Friday morning. If you have exceeded any of the cutoffs, you will receive an NC, a not classified in the results. And be advised, if you've taken 1 hour and 10 for your swim, or if you've taken the full 5.5 hours for your swim, T1 and bike, you only have 10 minutes in transition. So do not spend all day getting changed swim to bike and bike to run. Next slide. I hope by now you have all registered and you've got your athlete wristband on your wrist. Your athlete wristband is your all-access ticket to athlete-only areas. That was today. It'll be available again tomorrow, but there is no registration on Friday. So if you haven't done it yet, make sure you get that done tomorrow. In your registration pack, you receive the athlete wristband, the swim cap, the stickers for your helmet, for your bike, for your transition bags. You receive a blue transition bag, which is T1, swim to bike. You receive a red transition bag, which is T2, bike to run. The white transition bag, which is your streetwear, and a body marking number tattoo, which is optional. You'll also receive all the stickers, and these stickers are the only means of identifying your gear. Next slide, please. For the relay athletes, everything that we say for the individuals also applies to the relay athletes, but there are some unique points that we need you to know. So for the relay athletes, at registration you receive 2 bib numbers. So for example, the cyclist can have the bib number pinned to the back of their shirt already, and the runner can pin the bib number to the front of their shirt. That's why we give you 2 numbers. You also get the swim cap, the helmet sticker, the bike sticker, the bag sticker, and you get 3 athlete wristbands, because that's how you get into transition, and that's how you get into the athlete garden post-race. You only need to use the transition bags if you feel it is necessary. And when you go to transition tomorrow, make sure that you familiarize yourself where the team handover areas are. Next slide. So the bib number is very, very important. The bib number is how we identify you by name when you are racing. It is compulsory that you wear the bib number clearly visible on your back during the ride. Now for athletes that race outside of EMEA, so outside of Europe, Middle East and Africa, you might not be used to that. But at this race, you must wear your bib number clearly visible on your back during the bike and clearly visible on front during the run. You will receive your blue T1 bag. Please make sure you put your number sticker on that. Your red T2 bag, put your number sticker on that. You need these tomorrow for bike check-in. The white streetwear bag is only needed on race day morning. Next slide. One sticker for the helmet. Please put that front and center so we get amazing photographs of you out in the desert, out in the bike course, out at the BIC. A sticker for your bicycle as well so that we know it's your bicycle. Next slide. Your athlete wristband, which gets you into all the athlete-only areas, and you must wear the official event swim cap that we give you at registration. We will have spare swim caps at the swim start if yours is broken or lost. Next slide. On the reverse of your bib number, so your bib number with your name on it, on the reverse of that, please make sure that you complete your name, emergency contact details, and any medical information we need to be aware of. Diabetes, allergies, medical conditions. please make sure that's on the reverse, because our medical team and our volunteers are trained that if something happens to you, the first thing they do is flip over your bib number and read the back, and they immediately know what they need to know in an emergency. In terms of the emergency contact number, please do not put your phone number on there. You'd be surprised how many people put their own phone number there. Put the phone number of somebody you would like us to call on your behalf, and let them know that you've given us their phone number. So that's on the reverse of your bib number, very important. Then, the blue bag. You must pack in that blue bag everything you need to complete the bike. In the red run bag, you pack in that bag everything you need to complete the run. After the swim, once you've changed into your biking gear, the wet gear that you don't need, you pack back into that blue bag. After the bike, any biking gear you do not need, you pack into the red bag, including your helmet. You must hang your blue and red bags in transition when you take your bicycle, and hang it on the racks according to your race number. When you are transitioning from one discipline to the next, please don't leave any items out of the bag. They must be repacked into your bags. Nothing is allowed on the ground around the bicycles. So it's either on the bike, for example, shoes, computer, bottles, spares, nutrition. Everything else must be in the transition bags. The one thing you can do after the ride, you can get your feet out of the shoes and you can leave your shoes clipped in the pedals, but nothing left on the ground. Everything is in the transition bags, and any and all changing in the transition area at the bags. Next slide. So when you arrive at the bike check-in tomorrow, please arrive with your roadworthy, race-ready bike, your packed blue bag, and your packed red bag. Arrive with your helmet on your head, your chin strap fastened, and your bib number clearly visible. Then you'll make your way into the transition. We'll do a basic check of your gear. You'll make your way into the transition and you'll hang your bike from the bike rack. Now on the bike rack, you will see your race number. Hang your bike facing the direction your race number is pointing. So if this is your rack and you can see your number facing you, the nose of your saddle and your front wheel points in the direction your race number points. And that's where all the bikes will be in the right position. So you'll hang your bikes from the racks. Please do not cover your bikes overnight. We're expecting quite a bit of wind, and the covered bikes will make them very dangerous. You have full access to the transition zone on race day morning, full access to your bikes. And on race day morning, once you've completed your pre-race preparations, you'll pack your dry clothes into your white bag and you'll drop it at the athlete garden before you go to the swim start. What's very, very important, and so many people forget this, tomorrow, after check-in, do not leave the transition without your timing chip. You will receive your timing chip tomorrow, and please make sure you put it on your left ankle. That is the opposite side to the drivetrain of your bicycle. If for whatever reason on race day morning you've forgotten or lost your timing chip, at the swim start area our athlete services team will have spare swim caps and spare timing chips. Next slide. So, blue bag, pack in there everything you need for the bike, and your helmet must stay in that blue bag overnight on Thursday evening. Post-swim, you'll put all your wet gear in that bag, you'll rehang it yourself, and off you go. Next slide. Red bag, everything you need for the run must please be in that bag. And after the bike, you'll pack your helmet and anything you don't need for the run back in the bag and re-hang it on the racks. Next slide. The white bag, you do not need this bag tomorrow. This is only on race day and it's completely optional. So if you've got family and friends who can look after your dry clothes, your shoes, and the key card for your hotel or whatever, you can leave it with them. But I recommend you use the white bag. Pack your clothes in once you're ready for the race, leave it in the athlete garden, and it'll be there waiting for you at the end of the race. However, we do supply track pumps. You do not need to bring your own track pumps. If you do bring a track pump, please label it with your name and your race number. Do not put these pumps in the white bag. They will damage the bag and your gear will fall out. So if you're bringing your own pump, give it to somebody that isn't racing. Otherwise, don't bring one. Use the pumps that we provide. All this information is in detail in the athlete guide, and I remind you again, download that athlete guide and please read it. Next slide. We know that triathletes know their bodies very, very well, but we also know that triathletes are very stubborn. A lot of you are, oh, I trained so hard for this, I'm going to race no matter what. It's always health first. If for whatever reason you have not been feeling well, you've had nausea, diarrhea, dizziness, losing feeling in your extremities, chest pain, you're out of breath, seriously reconsider whether you are fit to race. There's no harm in seeking medical advice. And asking for medical advice does not mean you are disqualified. We have medical assets available here at the race venue, on the swim, on the bike, on the run, and at the finish line. Seeking medical assistance is not the end of your race. Now, on the next slide, I want to take you through some of the things you should think about. Next slide, there we go. The key is on the swim. If at any time on the swim you are not feeling comfortable, roll onto your back and pump your fist in and out of the air, and a member of the water safety team will come to your assistance. You are allowed to hold on to the kayak or the paddleboard or the boat or the jet ski. So long as there's no forward progress, once you've got rid of that cramp or you've got your breath back, you can continue racing. You're allowed to use the full 1 hour and 10 minutes. The water safety team will use their discretion whether they believe you are fit to continue or not. But what's also important is that athletes look out for fellow athletes. When somebody's in distress in the swim, usually the first person to see that is another athlete. So please look after yourselves and look after each other. On the bike and the run, it's a little bit simpler. On the bike and the run, our advice always is try and proceed to the nearest aid station. And if you can't make it to the aid station, stop on the side of the road, wave down another athlete or a spectator, and whoever renders the assistance, please wait until the first responders are on the scene. Health first. There's lots and lots of races, but there's only one of you. Health first. Make good decisions and race smart. Next slide. I think I've been through all of that already, but rendering assistance to another athlete does not mean the end of your race. So please do look after yourselves and look after each other. Also important, at the end of the race, you know what often happens? You're fine whilst you're racing. But then when you're finished, your brain says, okay, enough. Please be sure that in the athlete garden, you've managed to eat something and drink something that you can keep it down. If you're not feeling well, and if you're not keeping the food and drink down, ask one of the volunteers to call the medical team for you. All right, next slide. We do have mechanics. We have mechanics available in our expo. We'll have mechanics available on race day morning in and around the transition zone. And we'll have mechanics on the bike course. We have roving mechanics. But this is not the Tour de France where you put up your hand and immediately a mechanic arrives. You need to be reasonably self-sufficient and you need to be able to do the basics yourself. If you do have an issue, try and make it to the nearest aid station or wait on the side of the road for the mechanics. And keep in mind, when it comes to mechanical assistance, athletes can assist fellow athletes so long as in the rendering of that assistance, you do not impede your ability to finish your race. So we've got mechanics on motors and vehicles that are circulating the course, but of course is on a first come, first served basis. Next slide. Race day morning. Make sure you've got the official event swim cap. Make sure you've got your timing chip. Make sure you've got your goggles. Get to transition nice and early. Give yourselves lots of time to do that last preparation before you move to the swim start area. Remember to bring your white bags, pack all your gear in the white bags, and you need to be in transition from 5 a.m., but you need to be at the swim start area by 6 a.m. You want to be there. You want to feel the energy. You want to enjoy the beautiful morning. You want to support the professionals as they start. You're going to drop off your white streetwear bags across the road from the swim, near the registration area where the athlete garden is, and then you're going to make your way to the swim start area and stage yourselves according to your expected swim time. Next slide. If for whatever reason you lose your timing chip, we have spares in the transition. We have spares at the swim start, and we have spares at the penalty box just outside of transition. If you finish without a timing chip, please, at the end of each discipline, if you finish the swim and you see you've got no timing chip, go to the officials. They'll give you another one. If you finish the bike and you notice you have no timing chip, again, the officials in transition can help you. And if you come down the finish line and you do not have a time, and you notice your timing chip is not there or not working, please ask to be taken to the timing team, and we'll look at your watch, we'll take your manual time, and we'll update accordingly. But you need to be electronically timed to qualify for a podium position and a world championship slot. Next slide. If for whatever reason you decide that you are not racing, you must advise Ironman. If you withdraw before the race start on Friday morning, email Bahrain 70.3 at ironman.com with your race number, first name, last name, and that you are withdrawing. If you stop during the swim, advise an Ironman race official. If you stop on the bike or the run, please advise an Ironman race official. We are continually monitoring the progress of your timing chips over the timing mats. If suddenly you're not registering anymore, we assume something's happened to you. And then we send out a search and rescue operation. And if we find you at the local souk enjoying some Arabic coffee, some meze, whatever the case may be, and you didn't tell us, we're going to send you the invoice for the search and rescue. And let me tell you, helicopters are very expensive. Next slide. Let's look at the swim. All right. The swim is key that you do a nice land-based warm-up. You're going to go into the water at the start. It is a rolling swim start. The swim is counterclockwise. So you're going to be starting here, a little left turn, make your way in the direction of the avenues, another left turn, and then you're coming back towards Reef Island. It's very shallow over here, so we've got some buoys to keep you away from the shallows. Keep them on your right shoulder. And then it's a final left turn to the swim exit. 1,900 meters. You must follow the official event swim course, and your time starts when your timing chip goes over the start mat, and your swim time finishes when you come up the steps into transition at the end of the swim. Now, many of you are asking, what is the water temperature? The water temperature currently is 25 degrees Celsius. The threshold for age group amateurs is 20.4 degrees Celsius. 24.5, sorry, 24.5. So that means if we were racing now, well, we wouldn't race in the dark, but you know what I mean. If we were racing today, it would be a non-wetsuit swim. However, remember the good energy this evening? Choosing the race we want to have. It's going to be cool tomorrow, and it's going to rain, and the wind is going to blow. So there's a very strong possibility that the water temperature will drop. So we can only confirm on race day morning, 1 hour before the start, what the water temperature is and whether it'll be wetsuit legal or not. Therefore, be prepared for both scenarios. Now, we have a rolling swim start, and what you do is you'll seed yourselves according to your expected swim time. So the Lucy Charleses of the world will be lining up over here. Then the dolphins, and then the very fast humans, and then the normal people, and then the rest of us be lining up. The volunteers have got boards up with the times on, and you line up according to your expected swim time for 1,900 meters. Keeping in mind this water is nice and salty and it's very, very buoyant. Do seed yourselves honestly, because this means with the rolling swim start, everybody will be swimming with athletes of a similar ability and a similar speed. Start slowly, get into your rhythm, and enjoy this stunning swim course. Next slide. So we'll line you up. You'll be lining up closest to the main freeway, and then you'll make your way towards the big arch. You'll go up the stairs and down into the water, and off you will go. This will be very evident on race day morning. Next slide. If it is not a wetsuit swim, so if it's non-wetsuit, nothing that goes beyond the elbow or beyond the knee is allowed. That means if it is non-wetsuit, you cannot wear calf guards. You'll have to put those on in T1. If it's non-wetsuit, it means no neoprene, textile only swim gear. If you have any doubts about that, you can ask this evening afterwards when we do questions, but the best time to ask is you can bring your swim gear with you and you can ask the officials tomorrow when you do your bike check-in. Then, you've done your swim. You're out the water. Give yourselves a huge pat on the back. Discipline 1 of 3 done. You're into the transition zone. You're going to make your way towards the transition bags where they are hanging. Any and all changing happens where the transition bags are. If you need to do a full nude change, we have separate tents in which you can do that. Public nudity is not allowed, not just here, but nowhere in the world. You'll get changed at the blue bags. You'll pack all your wet gear into your blue bag. You'll put your bib number on your back, clearly visible, your helmet on your head, chin strap fastened, rehang your bag, and then you're going to run through transition to your bicycle. You'll push your bike out of transition, out onto the road, over the mount line, and only once over the mount line may you start riding. Next slide. Then it's a spectacular bike course, and one of the big highlights is a loop around the Bahrain International Circuit. Now, if the current weather forecast prevails, you're going to be extremely fast on the first 45 kilometers, because you're going to have a tailwind, which means you're not going to be extremely fast on the way back. So what you need to do is remember that and pace yourself. Pacing is key. Save some matches for on the way back. Fantastic bike course, 3 aid stations out there. Remember, you have 5 hours and 30 minutes to swim, do your first transition, and complete your bike. And you need to be at the exit of the Bahrain International Circuit at kilometer 62 by 11 a.m. Otherwise, you are not classified in the results. There will be road closures. The lane in which you are racing is closed. Always keep right in your lane. No matter which lane you are in the road, keep right in the lane you are racing. It's closed in the direction you are racing, but do keep your eyes open for other athletes and for the possibility of somebody who maybe doesn't know that we are racing on Friday. Next slide. Right, critical points on the course. We will have sections of the bike course here in Manama. As you can well imagine, it's a very busy city. There will be sections of the bike course where your lane is coned off. But there will be cars sharing the highway with you. Not in your lane, and you're not allowed in theirs, okay? But there will be cars, but your lane is coned off for you, so be aware of that. The other thing you need to be aware of is we have 2 U-turns. But as triathletes, you are born to do U-turns. It should not be a problem, but be aware of that. We are expecting some wind without the exclamation mark. We're expecting a little bit of wind. Now, depending on where you come from in the world, some people think that's windy, some people don't. Like if you're from Belgium or the Netherlands or Denmark, that's not windy. But maybe if you're from Bahrain, maybe you think that's windy, okay? So we're expecting winds of between 33 and 52 kilometers an hour. All that means is manage your energy, manage your pace. Do not get carried away when you have a tailwind, and in the headwind, be an Ironman. Persevere, keep turning the pedals, you will be fine. But we put good energy into the universe. I think it's going to be okay. All right, here we are. Let's take a look at some of those. Well, we've gone through all of that. Then you get to have a huge amount of fun on the BIC. Remember, keep right at all times, pass left. The only time we can have 2 athletes side by side is during an overtaking maneuver. The minute you have passed an athlete, please merge back to the right. The minute you've been passed, make sure that you drop back. Do not cut the course short. No cutting corners. Drafting is not allowed. The draft zone is 12 meters front wheel to front wheel, and I think the stage is 12 meters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so the stage is a bit longer than 12 meters, but most of you forget how far 12 meters actually is. So when you get in the draft zone, start accelerating. The minute you move alongside the athlete you are passing, that athlete must drop back and you merge to the right and you keep going. What's really important to understand is that once you start a pass, you must complete the pass. If you don't complete the pass, you are drafting. You'll get a blue card. If the athlete that is being passed doesn't drop back, blue card for drafting. So that's the important stuff you need to understand. All the competition rules are at ironman.com/competition rules, and a lot of this detail is in the athlete guide. Please be sure to download that. Next slide. 12 meters front wheel to front wheel, 25 seconds, keep right, pass left. Next slide. A yellow card is for minor infringements, and that's 30 seconds in the penalty tent. A blue card is for drafting. That's 5 minutes in the penalty tent. A red card is for major infringements, and that's a disqualification. Even if you do get a red card, you may continue racing, and you can have a discussion with the head race referee post-race about whether you think it was fair or not. It's your responsibility to know what color card you were shown, and it's your responsibility to serve that penalty in the penalty tent. The penalty tent is at the end of the bike, just after transition. Easy to spot, big yellow tent at transition before you start the run. Remember, your responsibility to know the rules. Next slide. Lots of aid stations. Aid stations are approximately every 25 to 30 kilometers. We have 3 aid stations on the bike. As you approach the aid station, you can discard, grab fresh from the volunteers. As you leave the aid station, you can discard again. Throwing any litter away outside of the aid stations will see you disqualified. Only litter in and around the aid stations discard zones. Your fluids will be in bike bottles. We have energy products, we have fruit as well. The details of what's on the course is available in the athlete guide. It'll be clearly signposted as you approach the aid station where you can discard, and as you leave the aid station, it'll be clearly signposted to say the litter zone is over. Next. Then you've completed the bike. You get back here to Reef Island. You get to the dismount line. Off your bike before the dismount line. Push your bike back into the transition zone. Re-rack your bike at your numbered racking zone. Then you're going to run to the transition bags. You're going to grab your red bag. You're going to put your helmet in the red bag. You're going to move your bib number to the front. You're going to put on your running gear, re-hang the red bag, and then you're onto the 4-loop half marathon. And that's on your next slide as we talk about the half marathon. It's a new run course. It's very, 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 very fast. There'll be a bit of breeze to keep you cool on the run course as well. It's not forecast to be very warm on Friday, so we're expecting an incredibly fast run. 4 laps on the run course. And because we know triathletes can only count to 3, we've got lap bands for you. So only once you have 4 lap bands can you come down the finish line. 8 stations every 2.5 kilometers on that run course. And this is what's available at the 8 stations on our next slide. Oh, here's some of the rules. On the run course, like anything, it's all about making good decisions, racing smart and racing fair. No cutting corners, no shortcuts, no outside assistance, no seconding. None of that is allowed. You can only give and get stuff from Ironman officials and volunteers. You've got to follow the designated marked course, and you need to complete the total course. You're not allowed any form of electronics. No MP3 players, no GoPro cameras, no mobile phones. Only the watch on your wrist and nothing else. And very, very important, only competing athletes can come down the finish line. You may not bring family, friends, or pets down the finish line with you. Next slide, here we go. These are your aid stations. Lots of aid stations out on the course, and I know a lot of you will be happy to see this. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Ice, ice, baby. Yep, lots of ice to keep you cool out on that run. We are doing everything possible to make sure you are fueled to the finish line and you can have your best day ever. And by the way, talking about the best day ever, have you seen the backpacks? Hell yeah, how good are those backpacks? Give it up for Team Bahrain. The backpacks are probably the best in the world. Wait till you see your finisher jackets. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, talking about finishing, what's on the next slide? Make sure that you know all the rules. It's your responsibility to know the rules. The basics on the athlete guide, the rest is online. Next slide. You may not protest any referee's fact-based decision. If you do need to lodge an appeal or a protest, please do so within 15 minutes of finishing your race. And all protests and appeals need to be heard before we come here Friday night for the award ceremony. Next slide. The finish line is for athletes only, please. When you get to the finish line, please zip up your tri-suit, look good. We're filming it for Bahrain Sports TV. We've got our camera crews, our photographers there. We've got the team shooting the highlights video as well. So enjoy the magic carpet of the finish line. We want to see you dancing, walking on your hands, doing cartwheels, doing push-ups, whatever it is. We want to see the best ever finish line celebrations on Friday. Once you're done, you'll receive your medal on the finish line. When you are finished, do not stay on the finish line. Leave the finish line, to make way for the other athletes. Get your medal and then go to the recovery zone. Get your finisher jacket, get your white bags, get some food, get a massage. And then once you've had something to eat and drink and you're feeling good again, you come back to the finish line to celebrate the athletes that are still racing. Once everybody is finished and everybody's off the bike course, from 12 o'clock onwards, we will open the bike park for you to fetch your bikes and your transition gear. Your athlete wristband, your bib number, and your timing chip is what gets you in to get your gear. Don't forget your timing chip, because your timing chip is what you exchange for your bicycle. Next. Then, Friday evening, we come back here. Another amazing dinner, thanks to the team at the Intercontinental. We'll have a superb dinner. We'll have the best professional women and men on stage. We're going to be celebrating our best Bahraini athletes, our best GCC athletes, our tri-clubs, our relays, and all our amazing individual amateurs. You'll all be on stage, the top 3 in every category on Friday evening. And after that, we'll do the World Championship slot allocation for Ironman 70.3 World Champs Marbella. Next slide, we have 75 slots for age group amateurs, and that will be done on Friday evening. You need to be personally present with photo ID and a valid credit card, and we look forward to celebrating your achievement at your World Championship slot for Marbella, November 2025. Next slide. Next slide. Our team from Sportograph will be taking photographs of you swim, bike, and run on the finish line. Make sure that you view, select, and order your photographs online. Next slide. If you have any questions, you may move to the fronts. Otherwise, there's lots of amazing food. There's incredible dessert. DJ Danley, Gordon Graham, and myself can't wait to celebrate you as you swim, bike, run, and have some fun on Friday. Thank you for being here. Good night and good luck.